working on putting in the base, I went all the way around the house. You can see the base is all the way around the house now. The last tutorial showed you how to do it, and this tutorial actually shows me having done it. And I cut a section through the house really low, a three-dimensional section through there, just so I could see, how it looked, what does it look like, and everything. And I can see a few major issues here. First of all, I like this material on the cabinets versus the white material, so that's one thing I'm going to have to go back in and fix. And the other thing is that when I put the raised platforms in, these are bumpers. These are curbs designed to stop the car from actually driving through the wall. So you drive your car in and your tires hit this bumper. And the reason I put it up so high was so we didn't have a step into we had one step when we got into the house, but that's not going to work because these platforms being this high are going to scrape they're not going to hit the tires, they're going to hit the car. The car's actually going to hit that, actually. And so I have to lower those down, and then I'll have to put a step here. And the other thing that I looked at was this is a standard Revit door from their library. And when I put the base molding in, I took it up to the opening of the door because I couldn't see the in the plan view. In the rendering it shows up, but in the plan view I couldn't see the casing around the door. So the fix for that, if you're using the standard Revit door, is simply edit the family and go to the floor plan. And you can see these objects. Click on those objects and then go up to visibility settings and turn on the plan RCP. And when cut in plan RCP, those two boxes are not checked from the Revit door library, so we need to check those. And that, you notice I'm only supplying that information or those constraints to this side. We have to show it on this side too. So again, we would click on that and go up to the visibility settings and make sure that both the plan RCP and when cut in plan RCP, we have to check both of those in order to see it in the plan. And once you've done that, you've actually changed the family, so you have to load it back into the project. And so Revit will load it back into the project, and it will update it so that in the plan view of the door, now we can see the casing around the door. And so what I had done originally whoops, I thought I was this path went all the way up to this opening. So I had to go back and change my base moldings to stop at the casing because it looks like this and it didn't look good at all. So the tutorial here, we're going to be talking about actually starting to put in the crown molding at the ceiling. That connection between the gypsum board at the ceiling and the gypsum board at the wall can be a very clean connection. So it's not necessary to cover it up, but this is just a nicer look. So when I'm looking, and again, you can see the issue here that my path went all the way over to the opening of the door because the casing of the door wasn't visible. And so I had to go back and clean that up. And when I went back and cleaned it up, I also was looking at this, and I don't really like the material. So I changed all of the base moldings material to different cherry, and I like that look much better. I thought that was kind of hideous, this dark cherry. So I changed it to that. So what I want to do now is show you what in a section view, if we go to this section, you can see the molding that I put up. So again, this is a very customized molding. It's, it's something that I did, but again, you can go and find profiles in your library by simply loading a family and then going to the profile and then to the let's actually do it here. See if it'll let me here. Load a family. Finish carpentry. Yeah, that's the one we want. So we're going to go to load a family, and then in the Imperial Library, we're going to go to profiles, and then in finish carpentry, then we'll come down and try to look at some of the different crown moldings that they have, and anything that you like is fine. If you want, even if you even want to put crown molding around, but I'm just showing you the final effect of that. So we do it in much the same way. And let's go back to the floor plan, and let's put that crown molding in the dining room. So I go up to architecture, then over to component, and we're still using casework, so we'll say okay to that, and we'll just say all right to the name that Revit gives it. And then I'm going to do a sweep, so I say sweep, and then I'm going to sketch the path, and I can do that pretty quickly with a rectangle. It goes all the way around the ceiling of the room, all the way around to here. And it looks like I can change the material right now, so I'll change it to cherry, not to the new cherry that I had before. I make it to this cherry. So now I've changed the material. And if I say okay right now, it'll allow me to pick the crown. And let's see. Oh, where is that one? It might be crown 1B 3 inches, but so it's always a good idea to remember what the name of your profile is. And I'm thinking it must be the crown 1B. So now I've selected the material. I don't know how high to make it. So I'm just going to say, okay. And you can see that it's put it around there. And I'll finish off right there and say, now I'm going to bring this over just to see, well, what actually did I do? So I'll actually go to the view. And if you look, you can see that crown molding is way down here. And it's placed in backwards. So what I would simply do here is say, well, where do I want it to be? And I'm going to measure from the top of the crown all the way up to the ceiling, to my gypsum board ceiling. And whatever that distance is, and I won't try to memorize it, I'll just copy it, Control C. And then I'll go back to my crown molding and I'll click on it and I will edit it in place. And I will click on it again. And here we say profile is flipped. We can check that. And so now it will flip the profile. And my vertical distance, I want to Control V, the distance that I just copied that I know that has to raise up. So let's see what happened. So it raised it up. It's at the correct elevation and it's in the correct orientation. So I can accept that now. And there it is. So now I have my crown molding that goes all the way around. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. It's maybe it's going to be okay. I think it is. Let's take a look at that in 3D, and then we'll see what's going on here. Because I do have that drop ceiling there, so we're designing as we go along. We might like what we see, and we might not. So I'm holding the shift key down now, and I'm just going to scroll it up. And yeah, I think that's okay. So we'll take a look at exactly what just happened there in that rendering. I put we've already got the base in now. It's the correct material. It looks better now. Might have a little problem here at the window. So I might have to change the height of the window or do something here. But that's what the crown molding, that's what the tutorial is to show how to put the crown molding in. At the top, it's a profile, and we make a sweep, and we simply create a path, define the profile, and then apply some sort of material to it. And that's what we have to look at now. That looks pretty good. And I think the floating ceiling looks good. It might need a little bit of some sort of molding around there as well, just to make it look a little bit better. But for now, as I often say, I think we're progressing in the right direction.